The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Wrestling to the Max 205 Live. And we are live to tape on the W2M Network for the Wrestling to the Max 205 Live review. Yes, I did that myself. Yes, I'm going to keep doing it going forward. No, I don't care if you guys complain. I am your host. My name is Harry Broadhurst. She is the co-hostess with the mostest, Miss Liz Pugliese.
Hello.
And finally, the Voldemort to my Harry, Brandon Biskobing.
You just said my name, so now you're screwed.
But Voldemort's dead, so not really.
I don't get any of these references, so I'm just going to smile and wave. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. That's a Penguins of Madagascar reference if nobody gets it out there. And if you don't, I highly recommend you watch the show. It's actually pretty funny.
Love the Penguins. Smile and wave, boys.
And now that we've already talked Penguins of Madagascar, I can't help but feel like this show is going to go downhill from here.
Of course.
We have 3 matches on tonight's episode of 205 Live, 2 of which are relevant, 1 of which, well, not so much, but we'll talk about it anyway. We open with General Manager Drake Spud Maverick. His friends call him Spud, or Rockstar, depending on what timeline you knew him in. Talking about the recent happenings on 205 Live and stating that Hideo Itami bullying his way into the main event scene isn't going to fly around him, therefore Itami is suspended from tonight's episode of 205 Live. Our opening contest, scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
You know what, Liz? I'm going to let you introduce this match.
Why?
Because it's your favorite type of match?
No, I don't want to.
No,
I mean, Drew's in it, so that's totally
okay.
I was letting you do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is the Cruiserweight Teddy Long special, the 6-man tag match.
Play.
As Kalisto, Lince Dorado, and Gran Metalik, collectively known as the Lucha Job Squad, House Party, take on Brian Kendrick, Jack Gallagher, and
Drew Gulak.
And they thought your fangirling on SmackDown was ridiculous, Liz. I'm right there with you, though, so I can't really complain. The match itself goes approximately 15 minutes? It didn't feel like 15 minutes.
It did.
No, it didn't. And I mean that as a compliment. I actually really enjoyed this match. I thought it was very well done. And the finish is what I want to talk about here because the luchadors cheat to win. Okay, does every luchador have to be inspired by it? No, I'm kidding. But they do cheat to win as Lince Dorado pins Brian Kendrick, hooking the tights in the process for the 3 count at the aforementioned 15 minutes. Liz, your thoughts on our opening contest of the week?
I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, the Lucha House Party does tend to always open the show more
Shop
often.
Squad.
Pretty much. Anybody else. And I really hate their name. I hate that name. It's just so ridiculously stupid and sort of stereotypical and borderline racist, I think. But, what do I know?
I mean, that's basically what all luchadors are in WWE, though.
Yeah, I know. I know, but I can still complain about it. I feel like it. It was good. It was a decent match. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't think it was as long as it was either. I think it was I think for me, I think it was well paced. And I'm not just saying this because Drew was in the match. It was a pretty decent match.
Brandon?
I mean, the match was decent, but it definitely did feel, at least to me, maybe it was because I wasn't, paying attention to it as closely as you guys were, but it definitely felt to me like it went pretty long. I was honestly thinking after a while, I was like, wow, are they going to have this go like the whole show? Or at least like half of the show and only have 2 matches. But yeah, I mean, the finish was definitely the biggest part of this, because it kind of sets up like, oh wow, the Lucha House Party. I mean, uh, oh, what's his name? Oh, Percy Watson made made the reference of, it's just, them, it's just them doing it because Kendrick tried to pull it off earlier in the match.
It was Gulak.
Oh, it was Gulak, yeah. But them using some questionable tactics. We'll see if that plays any role in this moving forward. There's no way this is over, especially with the questionable finish.
No, I think that's the big talking point here, though, is that aforementioned questionable finish with the Lucha House Party resorting towards heel tactics in order to win this contest here. I think that you have to kind of give the Lucha House Party an edge, because if you don't, they're going to be continued to be seen as the glorified job squad that I referred them to as earlier in the show. You're not going to be able to move them up on the card. You're not going to have anybody taking them anywhere near relevancy. And people like Kalisto and Grand Metalik, one of the more breakout performers in the Cruiserweight Classic, and Kalisto, a former Cruiserweight champion, aren't going to be taken seriously by anybody if they keep getting slotted in opening match without getting some kind of development to their characters. And I think this was a little sample of what that could be going forward tonight.
Yeah, I could see that. It'll be interesting to see because, I mean, at least not in recent memory for me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember heel luchadors in a long time.
Alberto Del Rio says hi.
But no. He was not a luchador.
The hell he wasn't.
When was he in a mask?
Okay, what about Unico then? He was a heel luchador.
He was not in a mask either.
Yes, he was. He took over he was the fake Sin Cara.
Okay, that was one Sin Cara versus, a fake Sin Cara. That does not count.
The hell it doesn't. Liz, mediate here. Does that count or not?
No.
Thanks.
Yes, I mean it does, and it does. You can argue it either way. I'm gonna go with Brandon here. It does count. He was technically a luchador, and he was technically a heel. But I can see Harry's side as well. I have a hard time believing that there was no luchador that was ever. None of the luchadors were ever a face. You're telling me that Ray was never a heel?
Not that I can distinctly remember.
Ray was only.
That's a shame because I hate him.
Ray was only a heel in WCW as part of the Filthy Animals, and he was unmasked by that point.
Yeah, like no masked luchador that I can remember was ever a heel in WWE.
Nah, I find that so hard to believe.
I don't buy that either. I got a funny feeling I'm going to have to do some research and get back to you on that one because I do not buy that in the slightest. Anywho, moving on, our next contest is scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
Is Akira Tozawa taking on Jobber to be named later, by which I mean I don't know who he is. They gave a name, but I couldn't pronounce it to save the life of me. And
we don't really care.
Pro Fight DB doesn't have this show up on its archives yet for me to tell you who it actually was. Therefore, that tells you all you need to know about what happens in this match here. Although I do want to talk about that finish. Good God, Tozawa got up there for that back senton. That was Dick Togo-esque. Most of the people listening to this are scratching their heads, wondering who the hell is Dick Togo. YouTube, my friends. YouTube. Brandon, anything?
I mean, just a good match to get Tozawa some momentum back after the Atami feud, and he hasn't really even been treading water. He's been a little under the water for a while now, pretty much ever since they randomly decided to end the whole he's part of Titus Worldwide, and then suddenly he isn't thing.
Liz?
Yeah, I mean, for a squash match, there it was pretty entertaining. I liked his promo beforehand as well. Um, I thought he delivered that really well.
ProFightDB.com, which I highly recommend, the Internet Wrestling Database, tells me that the guy's name was Steve Irby. He is more professionally known by the name Joey Lynch. So there you have it. Our main event scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
Oh, wait, before we get to that one fall, we'll take that one fall back,
Okay.
Brandon. We'll get to it in a second. Drake Maverick meets with Buddy Murphy backstage before our previous squash match there. Murphy comes in making demands. Maverick tells him that everybody will get what's coming to them in due time, and instead of coming in here with ultimatums, come in here with ideas and suggestions in the future.
I wonder what, because Maverick was going to say that he had something for Murphy that Murphy would like. I wonder what that was going to be if it wasn't for Murphy being a douche.
Liz, buy or sell Lio Rush in the cruiserweight division. Has anything about the guy standing out to you thus far? Did you like the segment? Did you dislike it? What did you think?
I thought it was extreme. Everything I know about the guy is fairly positive. I thought it was an extremely generic promo. I thought you could have put just about anybody into that, gave them the same script, and they could either have done it worse or done it better. It didn't make me excited at all for this man to show up.
Brandon, you're more familiar with Lio Rush than Liz would be. What were your thoughts here?
I liked it. I like how he's talking about how which is true for a lot of us who know of Lio Rush. We understand why they didn't do it, but so be it. He's like there have been 2 cruiserweight tournaments, and why hasn't the best cruiserweight in the world been in it? Granted, as soon as he said that, I thought there's 2 other cruiserweights that would probably beg to differ, one of which is also now in WWE, but in NXT.
Okay, so I'm going to let you finish here, but I have to ask. I know who you mean in NXT. Who's the one outside of the WWE that you're Zack Sabre Jr.? Never mind.
No. Because Sabre Jr. was in the original CWC.
Oh, you mean Ospreay then?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. Continue.
But other than that, this I like the promo. It gets. I wish they would have done a little more with because they did it more so in the first promo. I wish they would have done something kind of cool, and they should have done something more to build up anticipation instead of revealing it right away, because it would have created such a huge pop. They should have done something with that with the hourglass, and had it coming slowly coming down, and each week more and more it's gone. And then, 1 week it's all out, and then his music hits or something.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a la Chris Jericho.
I'm going to reserve judgment on what I think Lio Rush's future in the WWE is going to be. And the reason I say that is because I have seen Lio Rush have some absolute barn burners, but I can honestly say I've also seen Lio Rush shit the bed on a number of occasions as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Rush can be very hit and miss depending on his opponent. If he has somebody that he works well with, then Rush can be a superstar. If he has somebody that he doesn't work well with, it comes off very clunky. Hopefully there is enough of a experience level working with the various guys that are already comprising the 205 Live division that Rush will be able to shine, because when he's good, he's really good. In addition, TJ Perkins is yet again teasing becoming a heavyweight, saying the cruiser great is going to become a heavy great. Good luck with that, TJ. The only cruiserweight to ever successfully transition to the heavyweight divisions were Eddie, Jericho, and Ray.
Well, in WWE.
Track record doesn't look so good.
No.
Our main event is scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
As Mustafa Ali takes on Tony Nese. Buddy Murphy comes out with Tony Nese because, let me tell you about my best friend and training partner. So Cedric Alexander decides to make his presence known on this episode and comes out to even the odds, which is a weird sentence to think about it. But he's in Mustafa Ali's corner here. It all breaks down as it is wont to do in these cruiserweight main events. And Mustafa dives onto Tony. Cedric dives on to Buddy and then beats his ass up the ramp. In the ring, a tornado DDT leads to the 054, and the dumbest name for the coolest finishing move in the WWE spells curtains for Tony Nese at about 10 minutes. Liz, your thoughts on our main event for the week?
I enjoyed it. I liked, Cedric coming out to kind of even the numbers up. I thought it was a entertaining match. It held my attention. Some good spots. I liked seeing Tony out there. It was alright. It was good.
Brandon?
Yeah, it was a solid match. I liked the chaotic nature of it, especially in the beginning with them. I was honestly surprised. It looked like I thought the ref was gonna kick both Cedric and Murphy out at first, but then I guess he didn't.
No, he just told them to get out of the ring. He didn't actually shoot them from
okay.
ring.
Oh, okay. See, when he was telling them to get out, I thought he was actually ejecting them from ringside.
I did too.
But I guess not. And then the chaos at the end, obviously. So yeah, solid match all in all.
I actually enjoyed this match. I thought it was pretty well done here. I think that we've seen better from Mustafa. This is about as good as we've seen from Tony thus far. I think Tony is capable of more, but they haven't put him in a position where he's primed to succeed yet because they're focusing on other people.
Yeah.
Once Nese is let loose, I think Nese has the ability to carry this division as an in-ring competitor. The problem is Tony's not the most charismatic person in the world, which is going to work against him because you have somebody who the fans are starting to come around on in Cedric as the champion right now. And then you have people who the fans are definitely following in Mustafa Ali and a internationally known name in Hideo Itami that's about to make his presence known in the main event scene on 205 Live as well.
I mean, just his entrance alone, though, he is, if you gave him the opportunity to talk and whatnot, I think Nese could certainly get that charisma.
I think he does have charisma. I just don't think we see it that much.
Yeah.
He's had several, really good, segments. Some with Drew, some with, other people. He always, for me, was, entertaining with all the crap with, Enzo. So I think the charisma is there. I just don't think we really get to see it.
I think that we saw more of Tony's personality when the Zoe train was still a thing, but I think the WWE wants to leave those days in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but one doesn't have to do with the other. He's just not really getting the opportunity to show it. I mean, he doesn't have to, do that same type of thing, but, it's just not coming through with what he's working with now, of the time he's given.
And with that, we put an official bow on this week's episode of 205 Live. Scale of 1 to 10, Brandon, where do you fall?
I'll give it a 6.5. The 6-man tag match was decent. And it moved the story along with the Lucha House Party using some heelish tactics. Then you had the squash. Well, we didn't talk about the end after the match.
The announcement of the triple threat for next week on 205 Live. If you watched 205 Live last week with the way that the main event went off the air, you knew this match was coming. It's Mustafa, Buddy Murphy, and Hideo Itami in a triple threat match next week on 205 Live. Most likely the winner of that is the new number one contender to the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah. But yeah, then the main event was solid, but definitely one of the more lackluster episodes of 205 in recent memory.
Liz?
don't know. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to give it a 7. Was it one of the best ones in recent history? No. But it kept things moving along at a nice pace. You had a few good, I don't want to call it backstage segments, whatever they do with the people holding, the camera or whatever. They fit a lot of people in, and it didn't feel overly forced, like, oh, we better show this person's face so you don't forget they exist. So I think it had a pretty decent flow to it. So I'm going to give it a 7.
I'm actually going to end up on the lower side of both of you here. I'm at a 6 for this episode. I think we've been spoiled by the 2 main event matches on the last couple of weeks of 205 Live, with the Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali match last week, and then the Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander title match a couple of weeks ago. That my expectation levels for in-ring content for 205 Live are elevated compared to the normal shows, and I don't think that either of tonight's matches, the main matches, lived up to the 205 Live standard of quality that we've become accustomed to over the last couple of months on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a bad show by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't a good show either, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, 1-word review.
I'm gonna say filler. A lot of this was just kind of, moving things along, but not, anything huge happened. It was just kind of stuff to move the story along, before anything major happens.
Liz?
It's a good word for it. It was decent. I'm gonna have to go simple and just say decent. It was a decent show. For me, it flowed pretty well. It kept my attention more than most of SmackDown did. So I have to give it that. So, decent episode. Not, like we said, not one of the top ones we've seen, but decent.
This is going to come off as an insult, and I really don't intend for it to do so.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't, and especially not on a show, especially not on an episode where Drew Gulak appeared, because everybody knows we love Drew around these parts.
We do. He looks so good in that blue, but whatever.
My 1-word review for tonight's episode of 205 Live is indifference.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
There was nothing on this show that made me care one way or the other. The 6-man tag match was okay, but the only time that I really particularly cared about the match was when Gulak was involved, because he is by far the most dynamic of the 6 people in that match. And I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up his ass. He's genuinely carrying himself as the class of 205 Live right now.
I hope that he gets the title sooner rather than later.
Sooner rather than later?
Later.
Later. It's a callback to SmackDown, damn it. Anywho. As far as the main event goes, it's not that I dislike Tony Nese. It's not that I dislike Mustafa Ali. I just like them better with other opponents. Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy tore the house down last week. Tony Nese has had some amazing matches with, funny here, Drew Gulak. Mm-hmm. There are better ways for both of these guys to be positioned than against each other. The match itself tonight was good, but not great. And in the most recent days of 205 Live, you come to expect great from the main event, and this was not at that level.
Mm-hmm.
So my 1-word review for tonight's episode is indifference. Do we want to do another set of plugs here, or do we just want to get out of here?
Let's just get out of here. I think most people who listen to this would have listened to SmackDown as well.
And if you do listen to us and let us know, you can get a snack pack sent to you.
Remember, everybody, fantasy football to the max. Football to the max. I mean, that's not us, but it's still important. It's on the network here. The kickoff returns in August. They do Raw every Monday night, Tuesday afternoon-ish, depending.
Someone will do SmackDown with me this week, or NXT with me this week.
Hey. Most likely me again.
Probably.
And if I'm
Liz,
free, I'll join.
That means more. I'm gonna let you know ahead of time, Liz. That means more predictions.
Oh yes, yes it does.
NXT Takeovers this Saturday night.
What?
So, for Brandon Biskobing and Miss Liz Pugliese, I'm Harry Broadhurst, thanking you for listening to Wrestling to the Max's 205 Live review here on the W2M Network, available online at W2Mnet.com. Brought to you by GoDaddy. I feel like such a show.
Not quite yet.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.